Welcome to the CLSTN WaveLinx Cross WAC Input Programming Guide. The WaveLinx system version 16.1 and higher allows for Cross WAC input sharing when WaveLinx area controllers within the same building are connected through a WaveLinx core. While the WaveLinx core will facilitate the initial setup of the Cross WAC input sharing, the WACs communicate directly with each other to share input commands via peer-to-peer functionality. Here are a few important considerations when utilizing this feature. Cross WAC input sharing requires the use of a WaveLinx core. Inputs can only be shared between WACs that are part of the same WaveLinx core building, so keep this in mind when you're designing your building and floor layouts. Cross WAC data sharing is limited to 100 WACs. Partitioned area wall stations and CCIs must be local to the partitioned area's WAC and cannot be shared. Wall station and contact closure inputs outside of a partitioned area will not allow control of a partitioned area. Wall station buttons or other inputs issuing hold, release occupied, wall status toggle, and network action commands are excluded from Cross WAC control. Do not exceed more than 10 occupancy set associations. Touchscreens do not support Cross WAC input sharing. Emergency sets and daylight harvesting sets cannot be shared with other WACs. Here's a note about coordinators for Cross WAC input sharing. In the WaveLinx core, when wall station buttons, CCIs, or occupancy sets are programmed for Cross WAC input sharing, the core automatically selects one of the WACs within the building to function as the primary coordinator to manage the Cross WAC communications for the building. A backup secondary coordinator WAC will also be assigned. If the primary WAC fails, the secondary coordinator will take over management of the shared input communications. After the WaveLinx core facilitates the initial setup, the WACs will communicate directly with each other to share the input commands via peer-to-peer functionality. Here's a quick video demonstration of the WAC coordinator menu within the WaveLinx core. From this menu, you can select a different WAC primary and secondary coordinator if you so choose. Cross WAC input sharing allows larger facilities to have cohesive control strategies for bigger spaces that may have devices connected to more than one WAC. It also allows for an input in one WAC to control areas in different WACs. This is known as Cross WAC multi-area control. The following sections will outline how to achieve Cross WAC input sharing for the following control types: wall stations, contact closures, and occupancy sets. In this example, a wall station connected to WAC 2 needs to operate all the lighting in the open office areas to allow for centralized light level adjustment. Use the following steps to configure the wall station button. First, select the area, select the wall station, select any button to configure it, select the action for the button, and then select the target areas from the list on the bottom right. You should be given a list of all areas within the WaveLinx core building. In this example, a contact closure from the security system needs to turn the lighting on to alert mode if the alarm is triggered. Lighting will remain in alert mode until the alarm is canceled. This will be configured across two different WACs from a single CCI input. Use the following steps to configure the contact input. Select the area, select the contact closure device, select the proper input, select the input type and action, and then select your target WACs. Although individual occupancy sensors cannot be shared across WACs, occupancy sets can be shared through association. This allows a larger space that may have devices connected to different WACs to be controlled as one cohesive space, or it allows for overlapping and cascading occupancy control across WACs. For example, in the floor plan below, individual offices and other spaces along the back wall exit into the north corridor. If any of these spaces are occupied, the north corridor should remain on at a reduced light level. The north corridor lighting should go full on with the motion activity in the north corridor, but the north corridor should turn off if there is no motion activity in the corridor or the associated spaces. As the areas are created in different WACs, the occupancy set association will require cross WAC control. Use the following steps to associate occupancy sets across WACs. Select the area, select the occupancy set, select Occupancy, and then the Sensor tab. Click on the Add button to be given a list of all occupancy sets within the building of that WaveLinx core. Here's a video demo of configuring all of these inputs in a live system. We'll first go through occupancy sharing, and then configure a wall station across multiple areas and floors. Last, we'll set up a contact closure input to control multiple areas across different WACs. As always, don't forget to push the data out to the respective WACs from the Manage Controllers page. This concludes the Cross WAC input sharing programming video. Thank you for watching.